All right, it looks like we are live. Can you see me now? Boy, oh boy. Yay, technology. All right, we are here. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I appreciate it so very much. Um, okay, so today you guys have been asking awesome questions. I really appreciate it. We're going to be talking about part two of creating resilience and hope of what we talked about last week. Only this week, we're going to be talking about going into it a little bit deeper. And what we were talking about last week is how there is so much resilience in you because of all that you've been through. But oftentimes we just can't see that. And so having someone to help us kind of take a look at all that we've been doing really helps to open our eyes, because oftentimes we may have these experiences that sound something like, I don't know if I can get through today. It just feels so heavy. Everything is just too much. As I'm in the midst of this grief and this loss, I don't know if I could think about another day. And so when we're in the midst of that experience, that's really all that is visible. And so when you're working with someone else, they can take a look and go, so tell me a little bit about what you did today. How'd you do what you needed to do today? And as you're taking a look at those things, that actually helps to reinforce your resilience, because then you can take a look and go, well, I got up early. I gave myself a little bit of me time. I had some coffee, or I had some juice, or I had some tea. I sat outside, or, whatever it was that you did that was really well that morning. I actually really was acknowledging myself because I was feeling really good, or I got some extra rest. So we often don't think about those things. So as you're allowing yourself to go through that process to reinforce, oh, oh shoot, I have been doing that. Right. And so for example, I was working with a client and she's like, yeah, I feel like I'm doing nothing. I just feel like I'm lost, and of course she's lost her son, right? So what we did is we stepped out of that by focusing on what it was she was doing. After we were talking about what it was she was doing, well, I've been going to this group, and I don't know if it's really been helping, but I've been going, and I've also been listening to some other support on grief, and I've been also taking a look at other things as far as like, different types of learnings in acupuncture, and everything just feels so heavy. And I've been still working with my other child, and, making sure that he's in a good space. And so initially, notice that energy, and notice no matter what's being said, it's almost being brought about like nothing. But when I'm now listening, going, hello, let's stop there for a second. Can you hear all that you're doing? Can you see all that you're doing? Can you feel all that you're doing? These thoughts and these emotions that are happening around your grief, they're natural. They're probably never going to go away about a mother to a child. They're not going to go away, but they'll lessen. And instead of looking at it through eyes of suffering, we'll be looking and practicing together at looking at it through eyes of joy, of what we did together and what we accomplished together and the time that we had. And being that that was the time span, I am so glad I spent the time that I did. I'm so glad that I put in the effort that I did. Right. So it's being able to take a look. And as we do that, it shifts us out of grief. And in that process, that is how we can stand in joy. Additionally, being able to realize that our loved one is being taken care of. Our loved one is no longer in any kind of suffering or any kind of turmoil, which also brings us joy. But then we also have to comfort for ourselves, right? So if there's thinking that says things like, and this doesn't just work for loss of a loved one. This works for loss of loss, right? Loss in divorce, loss feeling like not having a childhood, loss of losing your job or losing your abilities physically, losing your youth, losing how you used to feel, right? So those are all losses. And if we don't allow ourselves to be able to realize grief is involved in that, then it just hangs there. and we don't know how to shift it off. And so being able to allow yourself to, first of all, notice what's the timeline of things going on. Like I had this grief and that grief and this loss and this loss and this loss and this loss and this loss. Never really thought about those as a grieving experience. A lot of people have that. And then there's a lot of my adult clients who are in this space of, well, my parents did the best they could, so I can't blame them for anything. So, it just is what it is, and I just move on. But yet they still have these strong experiences that they keep repeating and they don't understand why. So here's something to allow yourself to realize. If you're in this space and you're like feeling stuck, it's important to realize you might not just be stuck about this situation, but you might be stuck because it actually brings up similar experiences and similar emotions of other experiences, may bring up guilt and shame and judgment across the time. So those things actually do need some attention. And in doing so, we take a look at what are the thoughts, what's going on in the mindset. And as we're being able to do that, being able to shift the mindset around those things and not making them go away, not going positive. No, giving them attention. I like to give the example. It's like when the kids come, right? And they're like, I got a boo-boo, and there's nothing there. But they know something happened, and maybe even not, but they want you to kiss it. So, okay, feel better? Yeah. And sometimes it really does hurt. You see it's red, you got to rub it a little bit, or you got to put ice on it, or maybe it's bleeding and they do need some Neosporin, they need it to be cleaned off, and they need a Band-Aid. So that's the same thing with those experiences that you think are bad or negative. They need attention, right? They need to have us kiss the boo-boo. Like, what's that there for? What does it need? What's the nurturing? What's the care? What's the support that's needed around that? Not to just ignore it, not to make it wrong, not to look at it and go, oh, I shouldn't think that way. No. And it shows up in so many ways, right? So allowing yourself to take a look at what are those ways that you feel blocked, or where you feel like, I want to move through this, but I don't know how. I feel like I can't. That's where you're able to take a look and go, oh, this is related to all these other times. So that's why I'm feeling so stuck and so heavy. And it's related to these other emotions. And so as I clean this up, I find myself bouncing back. Now, again, with extreme traumas, sometimes we need to talk to a therapist, and especially current extreme traumas. Sometimes we have to allow ourselves to see what was part of that trauma, right? Was it like getting in the car because there was a car accident? Was it because a loved one was missing for several days? Was it because I'm blaming myself for what happened? And oftentimes, if it's parents, most parents do, right? That's a practice, because if it's our job to take care of them and something happened to them, then I get to blame me that something happened to them. And that's actually not accurate, right? It's being able to shift and change those things, but also being able to say, yes, as a parent, you want to protect your child in every way. And as an adult child, you don't have your hands on them. They're living their life. So it's not you to blame, even if it's a minor child and they're old enough, right? Or even a little child who you're watching them and you're doing what you need to do, but they did something really dangerous. And that happens. That is life. And so we got to take a look at those things and see what really happened for you and what really is needed in that scenario. And for every person, although it's similar, every person's story is their own. And so it's important not to compare your story. It's important to give you the time that you need, give you the support that you need, no matter what the loss is. And that allows you also to give yourself that experience and time and care and nurturing. So you're filling up your cup and not feeling overwhelmed and kind of overburdened and burnt out, right? Just like we can get burnt out in our job if we're not taking care of ourselves emotionally, you'll get burnt out. If you're struggling because you don't want to sleep because when you sleep, you have dreams, or, you don't want it to be quiet because when it's quiet, then you have these thoughts. So there's various things going on for different people. And I don't want to leave anyone stuck in that situation. And that's why I do this work. And so in doing so, it allows you now to think about these different things that we talked about. And as you can practice them, you'll feel, oh my gosh, this does feel better. Now, it doesn't mean it takes away what's going on if it's just now current, but if it's something over time, you'll notice that it's lighter and lighter and lighter, and you feel the weight coming off your shoulders. You feel the tightness coming out of your chest. You feel that almost like a choking around your throat. Just you're able to take on your life and look at things differently. You deserve that. And so I hope that you're seeing all these things and you're seeing what's possible for you. I am doing this program again. I'm finishing up. I'm in the 8th week of this 12-week program, and the members are loving it. They are so surprised on what they're getting out of it. Some of them are like, I felt this way for 15 years and I don't feel this way anymore, right? I have clients who are dealing with having had a loss just recently, and it's not taking away their pain, right? But it's taking away their suffering. And so then in the midst of that pain, they can also have joy. They're removing guilting themselves. They're removing shaming themselves. And, for a time, they weren't ready. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, they still were feeling like they needed to guilt themselves. Okay. But they now saw it as a choice, not that they were just stuck in it. And so you get to allow yourself to go through these things, whatever that loss was, whether it's a loss of a child, whether it's a loss of a child accidentally, right? Or loss of a child because it was your choice, whether it's because life brings us situations. We don't want to make these hard choices, but sometimes that has to happen, right? That is in your life, right? And not taking other people's judgments on with yourself, right? I've worked with various clients who've had abortions and they're much later trying to have children now and they can't for what they've been going through. So it's really important to allow yourself to realize these things that we are holding on to ourselves in our subconscious mind. These are our blocks and these are our barriers for moving forward into our goals. And you just don't know it because it's happening more on a subconscious level. But as I'm speaking, some of this stuff you're now realizing on a more conscious level, going, oh, no wonder that's been happening. And you'll begin to find yourself already being able to shift out of some of that because it can happen that quickly. If this sounds like something you're looking for, DM me, text message me. You see my number over here. Let me know it's something that you're interested in and we can talk. We'll set up a time, go over questions, just chat and see where you're at. If it's a good fit, great. If it's not, then there's other information I can share with you. And if it is a good fit, then we're going to get you set up for January. So that way you're already ready. You're already getting your mindset prepared. And you can also find who's a friend that you want to go through with the program. And it's just this really great, supportive, safe, uplifting space. Finding your joy, finding your smile in the midst of grief and loss. And so I do hope that these tools and these supports and these tidbits are really supportive for you. And each week, as I'm going about doing this workshop, I'm also giving you a little bit of insight into what the workshop looks like. And with each, you can call it a webinar or workshop because it's going to be very engaging. In each one, you're going to be learning a couple new things and you're going to be practicing it within your own life. And you're going to be giving feedback on how it's working for you or where it's a challenge. And if it's a challenge, that's not a problem. That lets us know what additional support you need. So it's this wonderful space to grow and allow yourself to start shifting into the life that you are wanting versus where you feel like you might be stuck, right? I feel like I'm stuck in this space of my mind feels unorganized. My life isn't the way I want it to be. I feel lost over so many different areas. I'm not where I want to be, or I've had loss of a loved one or many, right? Or I've had loss of my body physically, or I've had whatever that looks like. So you get to have this experience and help yourself walk through on this journey and find yourself in a brand new experience on the other side of it. I look forward to hearing from you guys. If this is something you'd like to share with someone else, just give them the information and then introduce them to me, because I know sometimes explaining stuff to people is a little more complicated. So don't put that on yourself. Just introduce me to them and I'll share the information with them. All right. So whoever you want this to be shared with, Any of your favorite people, let me know. All right, you guys, bring it in. Big squishy hugs for your health. Big squishy hugs for joy. Big squishy hugs because we need them every day. They help in so many ways, so many more ways than you probably even think. They actually help flush your body, because when someone kind of gives you that hug and squeezes you, it actually helps your lymph system kind of squeeze and release some of the toxins and put them out, right? Isn't that cool? Right? It kind of just squeezes them out of your lymph nodes. But that's just another thing. It allows you to have the positive endorphins. It allows you to feel reassured. It allows you to feel love, and it allows you to give that as well. All in that moment. Even as you just do this and allow that, that works too, because you're imagining me giving you a hug. Yeah. Or you giving someone else a hug, right? All right, you guys, you take care of you. Do continue to share your questions with me, and I continue to answer them each and every Wednesday. This is to help you learn more about your mindset. Oh, that's my reminder. I do a clubhouse every Wednesday right after this. And so if you want to elaborate even more so, it's called Mindset Reset with myself and Miriam. And in this one, we actually read from the book. I do have it over here. It's called Jesus Calling. It's by Sarah Young. It's awesome. It's totally cool. And so we read from that and we just share what's our insight with it, and then what's our intention, getting real clear on that. So if that's something you'd like, definitely let me know. I can invite you, or you can just jump on Clubhouse and look for it. It's going to be in 5 minutes. And so you'll see it there listed as a next event. So again, just to remind you, let me know of any questions, any challenges to help shift your mindset. That's why I do it. We need that information. We need to keep ourselves on track every week. Just reminding ourselves, this is the direction we're going in. Instead, we might veer off a little and find ourselves all the way over here before we knew it. Because fear just a little just keeps going and takes us somewhere we didn't even realize we were going, right? It's not bad. Just means we got to get back over here and get ourselves back on track. All right, you guys, you take care of you and know that you're loved, whether you like it or not. All right. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.